Good morning, happy Sunday. And it's a beautiful sunny Sunday morning here, so that's good. And man, I'm feeling really good this morning. You know, I've been 3 days into my body rubs, and I've been eating again. So anyway, I feel like my body's balancing out now. You know, I'll give you some quick back on this, a little backstory, because it was 3 years ago that I had massive neck surgery here. There's scars here, you can see. Anyway, I have a plate in my neck. It's screwed into 3 vertebrae, and for months and months leading up to that operation, I was pretty much in 24/7 chronic pain. It was like I was having somebody do a Vulcan pinch on my neck all the time. And so I was kind of a nub. I was drinking a lot and smoking a lot and eating poorly, and just laying around watching movies. Everything hurt. So I wasn't getting any exercise. I wasn't walking. I wasn't doing anything except putting on a lot of pounds. I weighed 246 pounds. So when I had the operation, after, just through natural attrition and feeling better, and started getting back out, my pain was gone, so I started walking. Within weeks I was walking, you know, back up to 6 and 8 and 10 and 12 miles a day. So I started dropping weight. So I went from 246 down to about 226. And so then, as the time changed, it's coming up on 2 years ago, then I went vegan. And when I went vegan, I went from like 26 pounds down to like 206 pounds. And then through more exercise and that, I dropped down, and I was hovering around, I don't know, somewhere probably about 186 or 190. So just three and a half months ago, January 23rd, when I went on, quit eating cooked food and went on full-time urine therapy, I dropped from that down to where this last week, when I was doing my fast, I went down to 146 pounds. Now that's 100 pounds of loss. So with that, my body... my skin was actually hanging on me. I mean, like really hanging on me. And it still is a little bit, you know, it's getting better. But the reason I'm bringing all this up is because I can feel the real difference now with just the body rubs. Now, the urine I'm using is the oldest urine I had. It was the original container I started saving, because when I started the urine therapy and quit cooked food, I went on a full flush. I mean, I was doing like gallons a day of between urine and juicing and distilled water. So I was producing a lot and saving it. And so anyway, it's really silky. It's real dark. You know, it almost looks like oil, and it feels like oil. So it feels really good, and I can feel my skin tightening up. And today was the first time I put it in my hair. How do you like? You know, I went out for my walk. I did all this before I went for my walk. Felt real good having all that energy absorbed in. And so it's been a huge, huge thing. Now, what really happened when I first started drinking pee, there was 2 things that happened. One is I first heard about it from D. Murphy 25. And he was on a talk show talking about flat earth. And all of a sudden he mentions urine therapy. And I was like, what? Urine therapy? Drink your own pee? So I did some research. You know, my mind was going like, you know, that's weird. That's, you know, disgusting. But at the same time, my instincts were going, well, that's interesting. That's curious. Why did people do that? So I quickly researched it, and I just said, why not? You know, I just jumped in and did it, because you know what? I trusted my instincts. My instincts told me. I didn't let my mind get in the way. And this is the tendency that happens to most people because of their conditioning, their habits, their addictions, their belief systems, their traditions, their sense of pride, their ego, whatever gets in the way of them ever following or trusting their instincts, which is usually the correct call. The first one, how our energy reacts and respond, and that's the one that people don't listen to. Unfortunately, sad but true. They'll do things out of obligation, and that's kind of working against your will. So I told a couple little stories yesterday, and I'm going to tell another little story today. And the reason why is because it has to do with trusting instincts. Because when I was a teenager, after our house burned down, I mean, I was a troubled kid. I had a lot of troubles, and I was in a lot of trouble. And so, after the house burned down and all that, by the time I was 15, I was stealing cars. And I was just confused, running around. I wasn't doing anything damage, just joyriding and stuff. And then I started becoming. I became a pacifist. I just didn't want to fight, and that's when the whole '60s movement was coming in, and that was the first time I felt like I knew some. I had found a tribe, and it was the counterculture. So there was something attractive to me about it because I'm a nonconformist. I've never really been that materialistic or a big consumer, or caught up in that framework. It just never was my MO. Never owned real estate. More of a steward of the land. So anyway, how it went is that I started going to these bigger and bigger marches. I'd moved out of my parents' home by the time I was 16. By the time I was 15, I'd already hitchhiked to San Francisco 2 times to go to these huge marches. And one of them had 500,000 people there, 500,000 people. Van Nuys Boulevard was packed wall to wall, sidewalk to sidewalk for miles, until we went to Golden Gate Park, where it all, bled in. And then what was interesting, there was this whole experience of unity. Like there was really like this fabulous support of unity from all these different contingents and ideas and ideologies and tribes and unions and teachers and nurses and veterans and this and that and gays and Chicanos and whatever. There were 500,000 people at this march, and it all felt good. I felt like I was in the right place at the right time. Now, things started changing a little bit. When we were in the street, it was like, hell no, we won't go. And we were all in this fight together. We were in unity. But by the time I got to the park and there was a stage and a microphone and contingents and agendas and ideologies, and, all of a sudden all these different groups became more oppressed than the last one. It got to the point where the Chicano contingency physically, literally threw the gay pride people, just literally threw them off the stage and kind of commandeered the stage. Now, I'd been listening to speakers for quite a while at this point, and my instincts told me it's just time to leave. I've done my part. I did the march. I'm done. And so I left. And my friend and I started to split the park. As soon as we hit the perimeter of the park, the whole police brutality battalion machine was moving into the park. Just like that. Ready to start cleaning up the space or whatever. So I tell this story because it was about my instincts. I trusted my instincts. I moved on them. And I've kind of lived my entire life that way. It's just how I roll. That's why, maybe I've changed jobs too many times for some folks. Maybe that's why I don't participate in traditions, because I think most of them are hypocritical. And I think that they're based on lies and Hallmark cards. And so I don't follow a whole lot of the protocol. I'm a nonconformist. So urine therapy, when I found this, now see that I'm solely talking about. I want to talk about tribes now, and how a collective consciousness works. for me in my experience. Because back then I thought I was a part of something really important, but it was infused with, politics and religion and drugs and sex and rock and roll and alcohol and all these other things. So there was a lot of convolution. There was a lot of confusion. And, even though we were, dressed alike and looked alike, nobody was really like alike. I mean, we might have been taking the same hit of acid that day, but, that was it. So now with urine therapy, I get it. There's clarity. People that are doing urine therapy are way in. It is totally the high vibe tribe. And I am so glad I found it, because I can honestly, unconditionally state that I've never felt more bonded to people in my life, ever. Really connected. And I've never felt more connected to myself. Funny how it works. It's all an inside job. And so by drinking your own pee, all of a sudden things start to change, and it's a process. Now, I've been 3.5 months or so along now, and now I'm doing the rubs, I'm doing it, putting in my hair, I drink it daily, I'm doing fasts. I'm changing everything, and I feel great. I've never felt this better. I've healed everything. I can't believe it. And I have a community out there on the planet that corresponds and communicates, actually listens to each other and communicates. How far out is that? It's not just a group of people doing selfies and showing pictures of their dinner or their dog. I'm amazed of the consciousness and impressed how it rolls. Urine therapy, it rules, it rocks. Piss is bliss. There is no other way to put it. There's no other way around it. This stuff is for real. So I encourage everybody that ever sees any of my videos, do homework. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your guru. I'm just a person inexperienced. And I'm enjoying it, man. I'm digging it. This is better than any drugs. This is better than any party. This has been better than anything. Anything. I give this my absolute 5-star, #1, top of the heap experience of things that I have learned in my lifetime. Absolutely. It's the #1 top thing. And I will always be grateful for, #1, trusting my instincts and not letting my mind fuck me out of it and tell me that, that's, oh, poo-poo, oh, no, snap out of it. Hey, you know what the sound of one hand clapping is? What was I thinking? So, hey, I'm done with that story. Done. I'm wide open, man. My mind and my eyes are wide open. I'm in. I'm digging this. It's way fun. And I can't wait to the symposium to actually meet people in person. That's going to be so cool. September's coming soon. So I'm going to close this out with another poem from a book. It's called Trusting Your Instincts. How appropriate, huh? Masses of people are losing their minds and trusting their instincts and functioning fine. A higher awareness, it starts to unfold. Just trusting your instincts, not what you're told. New worlds await you. Find paradise, trusting your instincts with no compromise. When you're in control, there's no need for strife. Just trusting your instincts and living your life. And if you are not certain who you really are, start trusting your instincts like an avatar. Our oneness with God brightens each day. Just trust your instincts to show you the way. Yeah, kind of like that. So, yeah, I'm in. You know, I'm tribing this one. The High Vibe Tribe, where piss is bliss. You heard it here, live. So, you know, hey, you know, like if you like, share if you like, you know, comment. I welcome, you know, I respond to every comment. And God, I love y'all. You know, so peace, love, and happiness. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. And boom, you just been loved. Happy Sunday.